Hi, it's David Taylor, or Mr. Pelargonium as people like to call me. I attended as an exhibitor actually the Bristol Fuchsia and Geranium Society annual Pelargonium show last Saturday, the 9th of June. And I had quite a bit of success actually. I was relatively surprised, bearing in mind what I've been saying. So I thought I'd just have a little show around the show with my video camera, just to show you some of the standard of some of the superb plants grown by a number of top growers from the southwest of England. This is the Regals. This is the pair of Regals class. These are very random. I haven't gone in the order of the classes. This is the open classes, so anybody from technically around the country can come and show. That's a plant individually of Penny Dixon. There's some other gorgeous individual ones there that I'm trying to show the name of them. But Keith Bush and Bob Clark there have shown most of those. Move on to the miniature varieties. This is a pair of miniatures. Can be pairs of plants or individual varieties, separate cultivars. But Ian Anderson, the Pelargonium Geranium Society treasurer, actually come up trumps with a gorgeous pair there. Moving on through the dwarfs. This is a pair of dwarfs. As I'm sort of looking through the class there, just to show that you can see that it's the two plants of the dwarf zonal. And this was a really lovely pair. Occult Profusion, I think that is, and Ian always manages to grow really good examples of those. Done very well, won a special award, Best Dwarf, I think that achieved. Moving on, I'll just show that was a pair that I put in. I got a second place. Shrivenham Star at the front, I think it was a bold cherub at the back actually. Third place, again, lovely plants. Didn't quite catch who did that, but this is the open classes, the single basic zonal. These are the larger plants, of course, grown in a 6-inch pot. This is Highfield's Choice, again grown by Ian Anderson in the front there. Gorgeous plant, and always another fine example of a plant that Ian grows very well. And more pairs there. It can be a single mostly on that one. So move round. This was the miniature zonals, and I did quite well here. I got a first there with as one of my plants, Gillian Martin, that I released from my nursery, one of my original seedlings from years ago. And another one at the back there in second place was one that I named after my father. That's Clifford Taylor. Quite a nice variety for showing. Stays very compact. Third place there, Gyps Meg, grown by Ian Anderson. Always quite a big plant. I think that perhaps grows sometimes better as a dwarf. But so the one plant of dwarfs. Again, I had quite a bit of success there with a plant of Shrivenham Star. It is one of mine that I released in the last year that I traded the old Gosbrook Pelargoniums. Second place there, I think that's a Dibbonsdale, grown by Ian Anderson, I think. And a gorgeous bold cherub there. I can't remember who put that in. I did put a few in. I don't think it was one of mine though. One plant basic zonal, the doubles. This is the double entries, and yeah, it was one of mine. This was a plant of Point South, which I had a certain amount of success with. Very nice plant. All the blooms held very well and none really going over. So it did okay and got the best zonal award, I think, for the show. And that's a new one. That was grown by Ian Anderson. That's a new variety which is yet to be released, called Annie Grace. Lovely zoned leaves on that plant, and a really attractive salmon coloured bloom as well. Good plant. So that's one to look out for perhaps in the future. Moving on then to this was golden foliage varieties, and again Ian always does very well with a plant called Bembridge. Very good variety, and always Ian always grows that very well. On to the tricolours. It's been quite a late year for tricolours, I think, mainly due to our very cold late winter. But Warren North Emerald always puts on a good show, and I think you got 2 Warren North Emeralds and I didn't quite catch what that was there, but I think you could see what it was. It might have been Warren North Thulite actually, but the bicolours, again, a bit like me, suffering from very late, sort of coming on very late, the bicolours. That's Petite Prayer, which is a lovely little compact zonal, open, sort of relatively open bicolour class, so you can put what size you want in. Onto the Angels, chap called Bob Clark, very well known grower from southern England. Always very good always very good at growing angel pelargoniums, and has put a gorgeous pair in. That's Quantoc Angelique at the back, and that's Quantoc Louise at the front. Very well-rounded plants, specimens, and a superb pair of plants there from Bob. Of course, many of these plants will be shown next weekend at the National Show, because a lot of these growers will be attending that. This is the old species. Austral always can make a good plant in a pot. And moving through to the scented leaf varieties, Imperial Butterfly always makes a very, very good plant. Lots of bloom. Of course, in judging terms, the blooms don't sort of mean so much as many of the other classes, but some good, really good scented varieties there, doing very well. Making very good shows this year. I think these scenteds did like the cold winter that we had, and so there's some really good examples there of the of scented leaf varieties. Moving on through, I think this was the scented. So I think I'm trying to find the label there of the class. Yeah, one plant of Stella, and that was one by a plant of Wyn Ellison, grown by Ian Anderson. Good example there. Very good plant actually. And one of mine behind it, that's Robin Louise. The blooms could have just done with folding up a bit more, but I'll have another week on them by the time of the National Show. And a variegated version, Mrs. May Last. I got the third prize with that class. It also won the best bicolour in the show. So that was worth noting. On to one plant angel. I think the previous class actually was pairs of angel varieties, and again one by Bob Clark. It's an absolutely stunning example of Quantoc Louise. I think that's another Quantoc Louise there. And that's a Quantoc Kirsty in third. Yeah, some very good examples of pot-grown plants there. Right, one plant Regals. I've been telling you all about my problems with late Regals. Well, there were certainly some good Regals here in in full bloom. That was a really nice variety. I think I'm trying to catch it. Didn't see what that was actually, something white. I couldn't quite make it out there, but some very good examples of Regals with plenty of bloom, unlike many of mine that have sort of very late this year. Mine are. But so again, some prime examples. Keith Bush, I think, grew most of those. He's a very good Regal grower, again from the southwest. What are we on here? This is open classes. This is the Ken Diamond Memorial class. Of course, Ken Diamond, major angel hybridizer who we lost last year. and that's it has to be a Quantock, basically. It has to be a Quantock variety. And that one there of Kirsty, looking very good, very well rounded, always good to show, makes a very good example of a lovely plant. The second plant, I think that's a Kirsty as well. Yeah. That says Louise. I'm not sure that is Quantock Louise, actually. I never noticed that, but that certainly isn't Quantock Louise. I think that's a Kirsty, I think. The blooms look maybe slightly larger at Kirsty. It's certainly not Quantock Louise. That's Quantock Louise. So, yeah, I'm not sure on that one. We come around to this one then, and this is one of mine. This is with the Floribunda. It's an overgrown, this is basically an open class. You put more or less what you want in it if it's not covered in one of the other classes. And I did very well here, getting first and second in the class. And that one won Best in Show. That very well rounded, did come very well in the end, and I was very pleased to receive this, very honoured indeed to be getting a prize like that. In a year that I didn't think my plants were doing very well, but certainly the zonals seem to have done better. My zonals seem to have done better, but blooms are all very good. It was nicely rounded, always makes a good plant, and a good contrast between that orangey red and the quite dark green, which it always brings up. Shrivenham Star, an overgrown Shrivenham Star. These are basically dwarfs grown in 6-inch pots, classed as a Floribunda. We have an actual separate class of them in the national show, and a gorgeous third-placed ivy leaf plant there, looking very good, very well done. Dwarf Stellas, again, I had a certain amount of success in that one as well. Got a first with Robin Louise. That's one I produced several years ago now that I named after my daughter. Grandad Mac, always a good show plant, and that's a very good example as well. I think that probably grows better as a basic Stella, but some smaller ones here in a maximum 4.5-inch pot. Purple Heart, that one that we just passed there, that is a gorgeous variety, very dark leaf, bronze leaf almost, with a very vibrant red, orangey red bloom. So yeah, they're looking, particularly good. That was a really good set of dwarf stellas. I got a third there with a butterfly Brian West as well. Going back then, we're on to these are miniature stellas, I think. Ian Anderson's always a top guy. He got runner-up, basically, to Best in Show with this gorgeous miniature variety. I'm not sure. Do I see what that particular plant is? I'm not sure whether it might be a plant called Lisa Joe. I'm not 100% certain on that though. The actual name of the plant appears to be covered in all of the awards that it's got. Best miniature plant as well. But absolutely stunning. Looking superb. Brilliant plant from Ian. And that's a really good plant. It doesn't say the cultivar. I think it's covered up with the award card there, so I can't actually see what the variety is, unfortunately. But it got a gold certificate as well. Second place, there's one behind there. Again, can't quite see. What do I lift over? Yes, I do. Give people there. That is really, that might be Kitbridge. Yes, it is. Yeah, that's a lovely example as well. And third, Rushmore Golden Ruffles. Yeah, I always made, I released that for Steve Pollard many years ago now. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that little look round the Bristol Pelargonium show, and I look forward to seeing you again in the future at some stage. Thanks a lot.